Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 2018 Austrian Darts Open Championship here in Graz. It's time to meet our players. A PDC Unicorn World Youth Champion and the German Open Darts Champion. From Germany, it's the Maximizer, Max Hopp!
Everybody sing now!
And now, ladies and gentlemen, a PDC Championship winner and a finalist of the PDC Players Championship Finals. Will you please welcome from Wales, it's the Ferret, Johnny Clayton!
Well, dare the Max Hopp faithful dare to believe and dare to dream once again, 1 week on from his astonishing title success in Saarbrücken, becoming the first German to win a PDC ranking title. Max Hopp is still involved here in Graz, although he had to come through an almighty scare in his opening match against Stephen Burton yesterday, winning a match over the course of 11 legs. He trailed 4-2 in that one. Burton missed the dart at tops to lead 5-2. I think that was pivotal. And then Hopp still had to check out on 101 to secure a break of throw in the 7th leg. But Max Hopp right now can pretty much do anything because he's playing well, he's playing with confidence, and he is a man all of a sudden that, you really start to have to fear. Johnny Clayton, however, though, well, he's been there, done that, seen it all before, and I think he'll relish this sort of opportunity against a man on the crest of a wave right now. Elevated to the status of 16th seed after the withdrawal of Michael van Gerwen. It could be a benefit, it might not be, but all in all, he's been given an extra day off rest and elevated into the second round automatically. So, guaranteed prize money, but needs to win this to secure the ranking points as far as the order of merit is concerned, the Pro Tour order of merit. Read into it what you will. Clayton just simply has to get on with the business here of seeing off Max Hopp. Paul Nicholson alongside me for this one. Where's it going to go, Paul?
This is a difficult one because Max is on the crest of a wave, like you say. Johnny's always hard to beat, but is he playing his premium stuff right now? Probably not. So he's looking for 100, maybe one performance or a little bit of a run just to boost him a little bit. Has struggled with a little bit of a foot injury over the last 4 weeks. Looks to be walking a little bit freely this weekend, which is good to see. But Max Hopp is walking on clouds, and one of those clouds is number 9.
Johnny Clayton's walking on cloud 180 here. Down to 140 on his throw in the opener.
You mentioned that pivotal point in the game yesterday with Stephen Burton. What was also pivotal was that Stephen Burton had a great last leg. 3 darts to double 12, didn't convert any of them, and Max Hopp stole it. So a straight ton for Johnny will leave double top.
60.
It'd be disappointing not to get a treble there, but he's not under pressure in this leg. Max hasn't found his range to the full extent yet. I've said on many occasions he's really stubborn on that 60. And he couldn't be there, because if he'd have hit a 20, he wouldn't have been on a finish. 60 leaves double 10. And that's a very nice kill. 14 dart leg to start this Saturday night game. It's all a little bit quiet in here at the moment, just after a couple of really good games that we've seen. Obviously, Steve West is going to be very disappointed with not getting through that match.
I think it's worth saying as well, Paul, that Max Hopp is on another incredible run here. He's won his last 15 European Tour matches, effectively, with the qualifiers. He had 2 lots of qualifiers prior to his success in Saarbrücken. So that's 8 matches he played, 8 matches he won to secure his place here as well. Won 6 matches last weekend in Saarbrücken in the tournament itself. Won 1 yesterday. That is, I mean, talk about winning habit. I mean, that's 15 matches over the course of, well, less than a week or just over a week.
Not bad.
And I think that's got to count for something.
I totally agree with you. 2 qualifiers, got through both. Won the tournament that he qualified for first. Still in this one, like you said. Been through some rather tough tests in the last week and a half, was Max Hopp.
92.
And like I said, Johnny Clayton, well respected by many players. The top brass, including the likes of Van Gerwen and Anderson, rate him very highly.
140.
Just can't wait to get to the hockey. Enthusiastic player is Johnny. He's been playing good darts for many a year, but
60.
for the last 2 or 3 years, he's been playing some very special stuff.
104 for Max Hopp. More on that momentum in just a moment, by the way. We'll see what Max can do here. 84 away, so double 12 to level the match.
92.
Not to be, and Johnny Clayton here has an outside chance of breaking the Hopp throw here.
60 in ball.
Only one way to go, and he's a long way off with that second dart anyway.
76.
So Hopp will get another chance here at double 12 instead.
12.
One of the nicest darting doubles is double 6. Just get the line right. And 2 darts you'd want to forget. Well, double 3, the Richard Ashdown. And doubles have been a problem for Max so far. So Johnny is in position to steal here. Double 8. And he's not able to do it.
Wow.
So Max Hopp has a very difficult shot. And there is only one way to get this.
That's the first part. Madhouse for Hopp. And he gets out of it. Come on, Maxi was the solitary cry. One apiece.
That was a great guide on double 1. Slightly to the right of the single 1. Just had a feeling it landed at a slightly imperfect angle. Just got the feeling if he could hit that dart, it would just sit lovely. And it went in picture perfect.
Just the 3 qualifiers, by the way, for the German Open. He had 4 for this, so he's actually on a run of 14 wins, but you get the point. This is his 15th match. Confidence coursing through his Teutonic veins here.
I only found out yesterday from our commentator friend Dan Dawson that he's been spending a bit of time talking to Jacques Newlack about things in his career.
Yeah, he speaks fluent Dutch as well, does Max? That's something else I learned.
Yeah, it's another sickeningly amazing thing about Max Hopp. His English is better than most English people.
60.
His German's rather good. Fluent in Dutch. I'm sure he's fluent in something else as well. I'm sure he's got some Spanish in there too.
Another little nugget that he gave me yesterday as well. Sorry, you were going to say about Jack Newlack anyway, so.
Yeah, he's been speaking to Jacques about certain things, and who better to speak to? That guy knows more about darts than most good eggs. He's helped a lot of players, including myself. He's a fountain of knowledge, superbly intelligent darting individual. He's the voice of darts in the Netherlands. And he's one of our friends working backstage, not this week, but I'm sure we'll see him in Sindelfingen.
Well, Clayton was looking at 158. He's now looking at 118.
100.
Doesn't matter how much confidence you've got, you cannot finish 186.
58.
And that's exactly what Johnny requires. 18 for tops to keep this match going on throw. Double 10. Yeah, that's lovely. He's very good at double 10, Johnny Clayton. I've noticed that a lot in the last 18 months watching his matches. Always seems to hit it right in the middle.
So Johnny Clayton had to come through qualifying for this, even though he was then belatedly
140.
elevated to the 16th seed. He beat Ross Smith. We've talked about him this weekend. He beat Ross Smith 6-4 in his opening qualifier, then beat Mark Wilson 6-3. This is his third European Tour event of the year, but so far he's not made the final day. He also qualified for the Dutch Masters in Zwolle as well, so we will see him again fairly soon. Beaten in the first round in Leverkusen by Wassermaner, and then lost in the second round in Munich against Rob Cross 6-4. Helping hand here by being given a first round bye, but then drawing the only man apart from Van Gerwen to win a European Tour event this year.
It's interesting, isn't it, when we talk about, is it an advantage? Well, financially, of course it is, because you automatically get that £2,000 in the bank.
99.
But it's not ranked. And by playing on the Friday and winning on the Friday, you get to sample the stage, the people.
140.
And last night, boy, was the crowd good. Best Friday crowd I've ever seen on the European Tour. Testament to Graz, that is, and the European Tour for bringing that here. But to be fair to Johnny,
60.
I think he'd prefer to win on the Friday and be here with a game under his belt.
I get that impression as well. I think it also lends a bit of an argument to, well, it's a bit unfair on Clayton because he did actually come through qualifying for this as well, so it's not really his fault that then he loses out on the ranking money as well.
It's the trade-off, isn't it?
And well, it further supports the argument that maybe the seeded players should be given the first round ranking money for the points. Actually take away the second round prize money, £2,000, but get £1,000 if they lose in the second round. Get the 1,000 for the ranking points. I think that would be a sensible compromise on that.
138.
Food for thought from Rob Malarkey. I won't forget that one. I will put that to the PDPA and see what they think about that one. But Max Hopp, double 8. If he doesn't get this double 4, he might be in trouble. Slight pause before this one.
12.
Johnny Clayton is the kind of person who gobbles up these chances.
Yeah, slight pause, composure, or was it hesitation? Dangerous hesitation. Double 10 for Clayton. And Clayton leads 3-1, and Max Hopp all of a sudden has his work cut out here. The other little nugget I was going to say about Max, I was chatting to him yesterday. He told me that he knows I'm obviously into my tennis as well. He's reading at the moment the book by Brad Gilbert, Winning Ugly. Great book, not only about sport but about psychology in sports as well. Gilbert was a man who was responsible largely for the success of Pete Sampras in the 90s, and to some extent Agassi early on as well. Worked extensively with both of them, and he just added something to their game in terms of not gamesmanship necessarily, but doing all you can to read your opponent better, knock them off their stride. And Gilbert himself as a player was brilliant at that. And Max, he said, has been taking a lot, or he's taken a lot of food for thought from this book, and he's really enjoying I mean, he's not winning ugly, if you know what I mean. He's winning very well over the last 2 weeks or so, a week and a bit, given everything he's done.
I think it's really good for people to be reading that kind of thing.
I do too. I mean, you wonder how you can knock an opponent off your stride in darts when it's an individual game where you can't really you can't force an error from your opponent apart from between the ears. It's a really interesting analysis, and I think it's good from Max that he's reading this. He's reading it in English, of course, as well, and digesting every word of it.
That'll help.
And that will help his psychology and his mindset no end as well.
I've just finished reading Evander Holyfield's biography, which was very interesting indeed, and I took some stuff from that, not just about playing on the dot ball, but the stuff away from the board as well. Well, can he serve an ace here? Or a nice passing shot. 20 for Bull. It's going to be the Bull. He's the master of the ball, isn't he? That's Bullmeister.
Well, not afraid to give it a go. He has to give it a go here. No two ways about it. But he's in the green stuff.
84.
And Johnny Clayton, treble 20, 4, double 12 for a 4-1 lead. That's not too far away. and it's not a bad marker, and he makes the most of it as well. And Max Hopp really does have to start digging deep here. 4-1 down. Just the one break, but 4-1 in a race to 6 does look a fairly significant gap, doesn't it, Paul?
Well, Johnny Clayton is the master at taking chances. I mentioned his double 10 prowess. He's said that a couple of times. And that double 12, after that beautiful guide, was incredibly well executed. Believe me, it's not easy to play on that hot stage this evening.
It's roasting out there. If you walk to the back of the arena as well, it just seems to get warmer and warmer, and the heat seems to rise as well.
You've got to be really smart here in Graz too, because the hotel's rather close. You've got the lake next to the venue. Aside from, you know, getting a cab to somewhere around here, there's not a great deal to do here unless you want to relax all day. When you're playing late on a Saturday night, you've got to think of something to do. You can't just sit still all day. That's not going to be good for you. And Johnny Clayton seems to have mastered today so far. He's in a great position to play either the person who wins the next match, actually.
Yeah.
Which is Peter Wright or James Wade. I've got a feel that Max needs 2 trebles to put any sort of pressure on Johnny Clayton. It just doesn't seem to be clicking this evening for Max, and that unbeaten run could be coming to an end shortly.
It could well be indeed. Johnny Clayton in the mood once again here. Look at this for Johnny Clayton. Went for it, didn't need to with Hopp on 196, but worth a go actually.
It's what he does, Johnny. He just finds a way, and if he gets a bull shot, he goes for it.
I always think if there's an opportunity to just hammer home your authority, take it. You know, you're 4-1 up, you're a break to the good. Okay, if it was 4-3, 4-4, then maybe be a bit more cautious, but it's not like he's in any immediate danger here. Double 4, 5-1. And Johnny Clayton, well, all these concerns about losing ranking money might be totally academic anyway here, because he is in a very, very strong position.
Now let's not write Max off yet. He was in a deficit situation in last week's final. Managed to peg it back against an incredibly high score in Michael Smith. But Johnny Clayton, in boxing terms here, is just constantly 1-2ing Max Hopp, just keep him at a distance with that jab, and sometimes he's just whacking him with that right cross. And he's in comfort zone A right now, is Johnny Clayton.
And I think this is all, you know, the fruits of what has been a really, really good spell for him as well. You know, he had that maiden PDC title in Players' Championship 22 towards the end of last year, beat Rob Cross in the early stages of that one. He then had his biggest payday in darts, of course, trousering 40 grand for reaching his first TV final at the Players' Championship finals, lost to MVG, no disgrace you might say. Had that run to the 3rd round of the last Euro Tour event. That enabled him to gate crash his way into the European Championship itself. And I think it's given him another new lease of life. He's already had one by establishing himself as a tour player. And the transition he's made. He only joined the PDC Pro Tour in 2015. People seem to forget that sometimes. There's a lot of emphasis on all the stuff that Gerwyn Price has done, and of course Rob Cross's transition from the Challenge Tour. But Clayton has just, you know, been very, very effective at what he's done. Max Hopp looking at 1-2-1.
Needs it.
And needs it.
Treble 17. And this bullseye. This is his shot. It's become his shot. And he needs to hit this, not to win, but to save his skin.
And once again, he's outside the red button, and Johnny Clayton needs 6-1 for a 6-1.
Is that a good guide?
25.
I'm not sure it was, because his darts do lie flat. A lot of that bed was covered. So now Max Hopp gets a reprieve.
There was enough of the bed on the side at the fringes anyway, but it is a reprieve for Hopp. And Max Hopp keeps himself alive, but the question is for how much longer? he just looks a little bit crestfallen here, and he maybe just resigned to the fact that it's going to be a very, very tough struggle now.
Well, that was a break of throw.
It was a break of throw. A hold here for 5-3. But a long, long way to go for Max Hopp to salvage this one.
85.
I think Johnny Clayton as well might also still be thinking about what might have been at the World Championship, because he was one of the victims, an early victim of Jamie Lewis as well.
40.
Fellow Welshman. Good times for Welsh darts, you could say.
Yeah,
Gerwin
very
Price.
much so.
All right, he's had his woes in the Premier League, but he got into the Premier League. Johnny Clayton having the time of his life at the moment.
And of course, Jamie Lewis is going to be playing in Gelsenkirchen at the German
100.
Masters in May. What could be, actually, it will be a record crowd.
It will be a record crowd, and Max Hopp will be there as well.
Well, imagine the reception he's going to get there.
Superb arena, that one. Not too far away from Leverkusen, actually, where we were just a few weeks ago on the European Tour. The Veltins Arena. I think that was the venue where England got beat by Portugal in the World Cup in '06 when Rooney got sent off. It was actually, yeah.
100.
For Kai Bosch and Ricardo Carvalho. And Ronaldo gave it the wink.
I had a quid for the amount of times you said kibosh this weekend.
140.
You'd have £2.
It's more than what's in my pocket right now. Max Hopp.
Well, he's got more than £2 in his pocket after his exploits last weekend.
That's for darts.
Is that blood on the number 5, on the single 5 bed, by the way, below the treble bed?
Yeah, I think one of the players may have cut their finger on a wire. That does happen now and again.
44.
Unless someone's got a previous injury that has opened up. Oh, there has been a darts documentary in the past called Blood on the Carpet. There's blood on the dartboard. Johnny Clayton has been swinging a lot in this match, but he's going to have to rely on the next leg, you feel, because Max Hopp has done a good job leaving the double after 15 here to make it 5-3. Double 16. Yeah, another one in the bank. Gets one closer.
Just beginning to get involved again here, just sensing maybe, just maybe, the impossible dream might be a reality.
100.
There's definitely a little bit of claret on the board, that.
Well, a break here, and I think there'll be a huge amount of optimism sweeping around the Steiermark Halle here. Very low roof as well, this arena, and it traps all the heat and it just swirls around. It's like a sauna back there.
Well, the crescendo we're going to get in here for the end of this evening. Unbelievable. You've got Peter Wright next, popular wherever he goes in continental Europe, and then Sulevic to finish against Labanauskas. I can't wait to watch that game.
I'm really looking forward to that. Mensur is here, saw him arrive earlier on. His family's here as well. His wife is backstage as well, here supporting, and his young family are here too.
Yeah, Minnie Mensa's here and Mrs. Champions League.
Don't think the new baby's here though. Emma, I think her name is, or Ina. I think she's sitting this one out, picking and choosing her tournaments already. This one.
Very well put.
Like Barney. Max Hopp. Certainly not picking and choosing his tournaments. He wants to be involved on the European Tour. He wants to make hay while the sun is shining. 17th on the Pro Tour Order of Merit after his success last weekend.
140.
Well, Johnny Clayton will have the same shot that he had a couple of legs ago to take care of business. You feel he will go the same route, 25 for double 18, as Max was looking at 3 treble 19s to leave double 4, but 2 of them will do. Pressure's on. Can Johnny Clayton hit 3 and double 4?
Well, he's got the 3. Has he got the double 4? Yes, he has. And I think Johnny Clayton will be very, very pleased with the way he's finished that one off. There were just 1 or 2 signs that Max Hopp might steal yet another leg, and had he done so, it could have been a very tense finale. But Johnny Clayton has avoided that potential pitfall and the number 16 seed. Well, for all the talk about ranking points and whether it's legitimate or not that he should miss out on it, having been elevated into the 16th seed, it matters not, because he is through to the third round tomorrow, and he will face another tough assignment whichever way it goes. It's the winner of our next match here in Graz, Peter Wright, the number 1 seed, a man who's never gone beyond the semi-finals in Austria, up against James Wade, who's having a terrific time of it on the European Tour this year with 2 semi-finals to his name. Let's grab a quick word though with Johnny Clayton and our MC, Russ Brett.
I'll tell you what, it's over 100 odd degrees in here, and you look the coolest man on the planet. Yeah? Don't feel it?
Definitely not. I'm sweating my, you know what, off. But yeah, it's so hot, it's unbelievable, yeah.
But you coped with it well. Good solid game. Sets you up for tomorrow.
Yeah, not the best of games really, but you know, I got there in the end. Like, I struggled a bit, but you know, I'm here tomorrow. That's all that counts.
Exactly. Last 16 tomorrow. Ladies and gents, the ferret, Johnny Clayton.